Michael Dorn always had a good time playing Star Trek TNG's Worf. Michael Dorn only has positive things to say about playing LT Worf for 7 years on Star Trek The Next Generation. Following the adventures of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart, and the USS Enterprise D, TNG introduced Dorn's LT Worf as the first Klingon in Starfleet. After remaining in the background for most of TNG Season 1, Worf became the Chief of Security on the Enterprise in TNG Season 2, where he remained for the rest of the show's run. Having been raised by human parents, Worf often felt torn between his duties as a Starfleet officer and his desire to embrace his Klingon heritage. Ironically, Worf was not originally meant to be a main character on Star Trek The Next Generation. Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry did not care for Worf's story, as he wanted to avoid heavily featuring the same aliens from Star Trek, the original series, such as Vulcans and Klingons. Despite this, Worf has become one of the most prolific and beloved Star Trek characters of all time. After TNG, Worf joined the cast of Star Trek Deep Space Nine and took on the position of Strategic Operations Officer on the space station. Worf's complicated relationship with his Klingon heritage and family becomes a major storyline on both TNG and DS9. Michael Dorn looks back fondly at his time as Worf on Star Trek TNG. Worf may not have truly come into his own until he transferred to Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but TNG provided the foundation on which the character was built. In the 50-year mission, The Next 25 Years by Mark A. Altman and Edward Gross, Michael Dorn speaks about playing Worf on Star Trek The Next Generation. Read his full quote below. Worf became the focus of more and more stories as TNG went on, many of which dealt with Worf's identity as a Klingon warrior versus his career in Starfleet. Worf makes several decisions that go against the ideals of Starfleet, choosing instead to remain true to his heritage as a Klingon. For example, in TNG Season 3, Episode 7, The Enemy, which Dorn references in the above quote, Worf refuses to donate his blood to save the life of a Romulan. Because Worf's Klingon parents had been killed by Romulans at the Khitomer massacre, Worf could not put his hatred of the Romulans aside, despite a request to do so from Captain Picard.